Hello all, I hope you're keeping well. Steph here for the Friday morning mindfulness session, and we're going to be continuing the theme of working on the 7 mindfulness attitudes. And this is something I introduced last week. I did mention the book that I got these from, which is from For Catastrophe Living, a book written by Jon Kabat-Zinn. He's been around, in fact was probably one of the first people in the mindfulness field to start using mindfulness for people with health problems. This is his book here, For Catastrophe Living. In my field that's coming up the wrong way round, so I don't know if it is for you. Anyway, it's a good book if you wanted to use it. It gives you a very good introduction to mindfulness and how it can be helpful. The full title is For Catastrophe Living: Using the Wisdom of Your Body and Mind to Face Stress, Pain and Illness. And it's by Jon Kabat-Zinn. It's JONKABAT-Zinn, which is ZINN. He's quite well known. You could Google him and I'm sure you could find that book. Today we're going to be focusing on the mindful attitude of patience. Last week we did non-judging. So patience. I think perhaps people understand that patience actually can be quite a good attribute to remember. But particularly with mindfulness, we're sort of looking at working with that tendency that we have. And, it's a very common thing of wanting to rush through things to get somewhere. And what we're working on is, if it's possible, seeing if it's possible to actually just stay with things, just stay here in the present moment, allowing things to unfold rather than to chase things, chase a feeling or try and finding somewhere which we feel will be a better place to be, rather than right here in this moment. And patience actually can be very helpful to remember when you are finding perhaps that when we've got our foot on the accelerator, when we've got that really speedy mind that's trying to push things or get things out the way, that impatience that I often feel when I'm feeling like I might have a deadline to get to and I'm behind or something like that. And then and that often can be accompanied by judging thoughts, giving yourself a hard time for being late or whatever it is. And so just stopping and allowing some space to come in, perhaps taking a breath and coming back to the moment, can actually allow, it can almost allow us to see what's going on, and perhaps sort of just stopping and pausing and coming to the moment, experiencing us in this present moment, can sometimes allow another option, something else to come in, so a way of working in a different way. So let's practice. Let's have a meditation practice and see what comes up in that. with regard to patience. So perhaps just stopping and allowing yourself to find somewhere to sit in a comfortable position, feet on floor if you can. Perhaps finding somewhere of being upright, so perhaps sitting up, allowing our back to support itself, and then just allowing your world to perhaps unwind a bit so that you can step into this moment. So letting go of whatever it was that brought you to this point, perhaps a bit of busyness, getting sorted in the morning, in all sorts of various different ways. So stopping and allowing perhaps a sense of connecting to the body. Just feeling what's going on right now. Connecting to your ground, wherever you feel it. Is it in the feet, sitting bones? Connecting to a sense of stability, something fairly solid. Perhaps allows you to take root in this moment. It might be feet on the floor, feeling the sense of placement of your feet and the contact of your feet to the floor. Perhaps even feeling the weight of the feet. And then noticing sensations here. So actually noticing what is actually here. Sensing rather than thinking about. Maybe tingling, coolness. And then from this place, moving upwards. Moving up your legs to your knees. Perhaps saying hello to them for a moment and noticing how they are. And then moving up to the next point of contact, to the sitting bones. So what's here when you place your attention here? What sensations are you aware of? Perhaps a sense of the weight of the body as it's bearing down on the chair. Can you feel the actual experience of the contact of your sitting bones to whatever they're sitting on? Precisely feeling that connection. And then allowing your attention to move up your body, your spine, torso, all the way up to your shoulders, feeling into your shoulders. And you may hear sounds of a clock. Just noticing sound perhaps for a moment. And noticing perhaps the finishing of the striking clock and coming back. Noticing coming back to the shoulders, back to the sensations here. Perhaps even allowing your shoulders to drop a fraction. It's often a place where we feel stress and tense. And then allowing your attention to move down your arms, all the way down into the hands, wherever they're resting, just being with however they are. Connecting then once more up your arms to your shoulders, to your neck. Spending a moment here perhaps, noticing, experiencing. Is it possible just to be with whatever your experience is? Moving to your head, taking in your scalp, face, muscles of your face. Perhaps noticing if they're tense or relaxed, seeing if it's possible to open to just being with your face. And then opening to the whole of your body, being with the whole of your body. What's here? Perhaps even noticing if there's any parts of your body which draw their attention to you. And spending a moment, if need be, with that, just being with it. Perhaps even with a sense of patience. Patiently being with sensation anywhere in your body. And if it's slightly just tense or uncomfortable, is it possible just to abide with it even? Being with it without any need to change it or make it different. And perhaps now extending to your whole body once more and feeling the breath. So moving the attention now to the experience of breathing. As you're breathing, no need to change it. You're just observing your breath. Following it all the way in. Following it all the way out. Sensing the sensual experience of the breath as it passes through, wherever it passes through, maybe the nostrils, the mouth, air of the throat, into the lungs, chest. Is it possible just to feel it wherever you feel it? And be with it. And it may be that you notice thinking, which wouldn't be surprising because that's what our minds are often do. They have a tendency towards it, and we're not trying to stop that. But perhaps just noticing if there's any judging going on, perhaps judging your experience, or even perhaps judging which are to do with things that have happened, either yesterday, earlier on, 20 years ago. And just notice that, noticing the thoughts, seeing if it's possible to just acknowledge them. We're not trying to get rid of them, we're acknowledging them and allowing them to be there, and at the same time, once you've noticed them, is it possible just to bring your attention back to the present moment experience of this moment and this breath? And then you might find your thoughts wander again. Perhaps thoughts of the future. What are you going to have for evening meal tonight? What am I going to do next? Or perhaps thoughts about doing this practice. Oh, I can't keep this up. This is just driving me mad. So just noticing those thoughts. So just just noticing them as they arise and seeing if it's possible to just acknowledge them, and then very gently, with patience and kindness, coming back to this breath now, this one right here. So is it possible to be with the unfolding moment as it arrives, moment by moment by moment? And you may feel urges to get up and do something, or I've got to be somewhere, or that sort of urge to move away from the present moment, perhaps. Is it possible to notice that? It's quite important to notice it. We all have them. And what happens when we can just come back? Come back to the breath, to the body, to the feet in contact with the floor, sitting bones to the chair, and just settle into the moment as it is, unfolding moment by moment. Thoughts of the future may arise, thoughts of the past may arise, thoughts of this practice or however you're feeling may be going on. Is it possible just to acknowledge that? And each time, come back. That act of patience of just noticing, acknowledging, coming back, stepping into the moment, stepping into the experience of the whole body, sitting here breathing. Okay, so now perhaps allowing yourself to step out of this meditation. Give yourself a little stretch. And perhaps just reflecting for a few moments on how that was for you. What did you get out of that? Perhaps there were things about it which were difficult. And just acknowledging it. Okay, so for today that wasn't quite as easy, wasn't quite so calming, or was more calming. All these are little ways of acknowledging judgments or thoughts, but also how we engage with the practice. It's important to not to dismiss your own experience either. So I think that might be it for today. I'm just going to check and see if there's anything else in relation to patience that I've missed out. There's a nice quote by John Kabat-Zinn which I underlined. Why rush through some moments to get to other, inverted commas, better ones? Which I quite like, because I know that I'm always looking forward to finding peace anywhere I can, but it's often not in this moment. Trying to make myself think of ways of feeling better, and actually I often forget that it's possible just to notice and be present, step into the present moment. And John Kabat-Zinn, I'm just going to read another little sentence that he's come up with. Patience can be a particularly helpful quality to invoke when the mind is agitated. It can help us to accept this wandering tendency of the mind, while reminding us that we don't have to get caught up in its travels. So I think that is enough for today. Thank you for watching, and I wish you all the very best for the weekend. I hope this has been of benefit, but you know, just if there's anything that is helpful, take it, and if there's something that doesn't resonate with you, that's fine too. It's good to listen to your own wisdom. Okay then, see you next week. Bye bye.